Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Well with Mika, where we talk real wellness for your real life. I'm Mika, your cultural wellness ally, and today we are diving into something that probably showed up in your news feed. Maybe it made you feel some type of way, and then, of course, it just disappeared under the avalanche of other headlines, right? We're getting into the U.S. Dietary Guidelines that dropped as it pertains to alcohol. So, what did they say? They said drink less, period. That's it. No numbers, no specifics, just vibes. Drink less. Okay. Now, if you've ever felt confused about whether your nightly glass of wine is self care or self sabotage, you are not alone. And this guidance doesn't quite clear things up. So, today we're going to break down what changed, what the science actually says, and how to think about all of this in a way that's honest, empowering, and shame free. Okay. Now, let's get into it. So here's what's new. For years, the guidelines gave us specific numbers: one drink a day for women and two for men. That meant, about 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, and about a ounce and a half of spirits. So that's your pure liquors, right? This was our reference point, our permission slip. And now, less is better. And that's all we get. So, what I think actually happened is that the science has been kind of clear for a while now, and it's clearly stating that there's no truly safe level of alcohol consumption. The World Health Organization said it plain and simple, outright. No level of alcohol is safe for our health, and that was in 2023. But putting that in U.S. dietary guidelines, I don't think that's going to rock with a lot of people. Industry, they're not going to like that, right? You would upset a lot of people. The alcohol industry would push back hard, and it ignores the reality that drinking is deeply woven into not just even American culture, but in global cultures around, they talk in celebrations, socializing, unwinding rituals. These things are in the fabric of people's lives, traditions. So instead of saying what the science supports, there is no safe amount, they said less is better and called it a day. It's politically safer, it's easier to digest, but it is also vague, and vagueness doesn't help people make informed choices. Now, look, I think less is better is true. I just also think we deserve the full picture, because when you understand why less is better, you can really make decisions that actually work for your life, not just follow rules that you don't understand. So we have to talk about what the science actually says. The shift in the guidelines, as I said, they didn't come from nowhere. Research has been mounting for years, as I said already, that alcohol, even at low levels, is linked to cancer, liver disease, heart problems, and brain health decline. And the part that is genuinely surprising to many is that alcohol is classified as a group 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization. So the WHO put it in the same category as tobacco and asbestos. That is wild, right? So even at low levels, it increases your risk for several types of cancer, especially breast cancer, liver cancer, and cancers of the digestive system. A lot of us just were never told this part. So when people say, but I thought red wine was good for my heart, my heart, the resveratrol, that was based on older, flawed studies. It was very 2008 of us, right? We really wanted that to be true. It seemed like it could be true, but the science up to now is not really showing that. What we now know is that alcohol doesn't really offer health benefits. The supposed heart protective effects is likely just a result of healthier lifestyles among moderate drinkers in those studies, not the actual alcohol itself. The resveratrol thing, if you've been following, that was already dealt with, because it was like, to get that type of protective benefit from the alcohol, you would need like 100 bottles of wine. It was just something just ridiculous, right? So just know that. And another important thing that people didn't realize is that alcohol, it disrupts your REM sleep. So even if you fall asleep faster after you drink, you're not getting that deep restorative sleep, which we all know is like a pillar of health, right? Your body, it ends up processing the alcohol instead of repairing itself. And you can sleep the 8 hours after a couple glasses of wine and still wake up feeling crappy, right? You're gonna wake up feeling groggy, foggy, irritable. So yeah, you fell asleep quick, but it wasn't good sleep. So the science, yes, it's clear. The less you drink, the lower your health risk. And that part is not debatable. So now how can we reframe this through a real wellness lens? Of course, we have to do that, right? Right for you, energizing, achievable, and lasting. Because here's the trap. We treat health guidelines like rules we're either following or breaking. Everything becomes like a pass or fail. And we don't want to do that because we live real lives here. So instead of asking, am I allowed to drink or how much can I get away with? I want you to try asking these questions instead. How does alcohol actually make my body feel? Does it improve my sleep, my energy, or my mood, or does it work against them? And then also, what would I gain if I drank less or didn't drink? And look, I get it. We're surrounded by messages that alcohol equals fun, relaxation, celebration. It's everywhere. I listen to soca all the time, right? Genuinely, it feels like it's inside of me, it's in my blood. But if you know soca, you know that rum and a good time are practically inseparable. It's like the alcohol is a vitamin, right? So I get it, but we have to be real. When you ask yourself those questions, I really want to know what your answer is going to be. You have to answer them honestly. And you know, I love a good cultural moment. I love good energy. Of course, I love to socialize, but we have to be honest about how alcohol is affecting the body, your body. Ask the questions. Is it messing with my sleep? Is my thinking cloudy the next day? Do I feel like I have brain fog? Is the trade off worth it for you? And, it's not about being disciplined or virtuous, really. It's really just being straight up honest. Your relationship with alcohol, it doesn't have to look like mine or anyone else's. It just has to be honest about what's actually working for you, not what you think should work or what everyone else is doing or what you're deluding yourself about. Like, be really honest. Now, let's get practical. If you're thinking, okay, maybe I do want to drink less, where do I even start? Let's make these things practical and see what can work, right? Number one, choose, let's say you're a weekly drinker, choose 2 alcohol free days each week. Pick them in advance, whether it's a Monday and a Thursday, a Tuesday and a Friday, whatever works for you. And then don't negotiate with yourself in the moment. This removes the decision fatigue. Oh, it's Monday. I ain't drinking nothing. Oh, Thursday. Nope. Sorry. No happy hours. I'm done. Okay? Number two, notice how you feel on those alcohol free days. Did you get better sleep? Do you have more energy? Do you have a clearer head? Is your mood steady? Your body is going to give you the information. Just make sure you're listening to it, okay? Number three, slow down when you do drink. Sip instead of gulp. Drink water in between. Make it last. A lot of the time, we're not even enjoying it. We're just kind of going through the motion. So make sure you just, you're pausing, you're slowing down, making sure you're hydrating between the alcohol and really understanding if you actually are enjoying it and just being mindful and slow in the moment. Then number four, I want you to build a non-alcoholic ritual. Find something that feels intentional, and it could be something like a fancy mocktail. Maybe you like flavored sparkling water. Put your tea in a wine glass. Whatever signals to you that this is my unwind time without the alcohol, make that the new thing. Then expand your stress relief toolkit. So if alcohol is the main way that you decompress, maybe try adding some new options. It could be movement, music, breath work, connection, just straight up rest, even just going to bed earlier. These things actually are restorative to you. Alcohol kind of just numbs you temporarily and makes tomorrow just a little harder. So just try to add in a new ritual to your stress relief toolkit. Now, if you have an occasional drink and it doesn't mess with your sleep, your health, or your well being, you're probably fine. But if you're drinking most nights, using it to manage stress or fall asleep, or you have a family history of cancer or addiction, could just consider, is this really worth the risk? And maybe this is worth taking very seriously. You deserve to feel good consistently, not just in the moment. So before we close, I really need to acknowledge something, because for some of us, some of you listening, this conversation might have brought up something bigger. Maybe you've realized that you're not drinking more than you'd like, you're drinking more than you can control, which is a completely different story. Maybe you've tried to cut back and you couldn't. Maybe the alcohol is affecting your relationships, your work, your sense of self. If that is you, please, please seek help, okay? Because help is available and you are not alone. There's a national helpline. It is free, it's confidential, and it's available 24/7. They can contact you with treatment, counseling, and support groups. You have Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm sorry, you have Smart Recovery. And if you're worried about someone you love, there's Al Anon, which provides support for families and friends. Reaching out for help, it's not giving up, it's you being courageous. It's the bravest, strongest thing that you can do. So the guidelines didn't give us numbers this time, but they did give us permission to rethink our relationship with alcohol without the shame, without extremes, and without pretending something is harmless just because it's normal. You get to choose what works for your body and your life, okay? Informed, empowered, and it's honest, all right? And here's what I want you to remember: wellness isn't about following the rules perfectly. It's really about tuning into what actually serves you and having the courage to make choices that align with that, even when the culture is saying something different. And even when you know that that decision might not be the best health wise in terms of your physiological health, but you think that socially it's worth it. That is your decision to make, but I want you to make it from an informed and honest place, okay? I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed shifts in how alcohol affects your sleep, your energy, your mood? Have you changed your relationship with drinking? Leave it in the comment section. Let's have the conversation, all right? Please take care of yourselves, beautiful people. Choose what serves you. And as always, happy healthing. Peace.